Well, hello there, all of you fine folks. Today's video is going to be a lot of fun and even better, a little more interactive. Recently, PSVANE reached out to me about their new Horizon line of audio tubes and wanted to send some of these tubes over for me to provide feedback. Hopefully that feedback won't be negative. See what I did there? So here is the thing. The video is being sponsored by PSVANE, and I do get to keep these tubes, so for the sake of total transparency, let's get that out of the way right now. While that fact alone might have an influence on my opinion about the performance of these tubes, after all, I am human, I have a feeling that it won't matter a hill of beans to you. So it dawned on me, there is a great way to trek through the sound of these Horizon tubes, and in order for that to happen, I'm going to need your help. When it comes to sound clips, it's pretty dang easy to ruffle a few audiophile feathers, and here is the thing. I've heard every argument out there, and I've had those same debates myself as I've incorporated sound clips into my reviews. The truth is, it's going to be a bit of a gamble if you're hoping to hear how a particular speaker is going to sound in your room and how it sounds in my room. After years of working on these clips and refining my techniques, I can say with a high degree of certainty that a significant part of the hi-fi experience, like soundstage, decay structure, harmonics, and layering, can and will be missed. However, where sound clips can be truly valuable is in highlighting differences in tone or bandwidth. A large part of getting this right is in the recording techniques, and the methods that I've developed on my channel have helped countless people clearly hear deviations from a reference track to a recorded speaker. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up, and it's super important, is that the differences between tubes are a great candidate for what a sound clip can reveal. That's why I need a little bit of help from you guys in this video. Yeah, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, but knowing there might be some of my own bias involved, I'd really like to hear what you think, since we're all going to be listening to the exact same clips while checking out the new Horizon tubes from PSVANE. So, here is what you're gonna need. First, a way to listen to the clips. While I do recommend a good pair of headphones, you can use your phone speaker, laptop, tablet, or whatever you have available. Just keep in mind that hearing the differences between the tubes might be a little bit more challenging with those kinds of devices. Second, you might need two playback methods if you're not catching any differences at all. In other words, if you listen on, let's say, your pair of headphones and you can't hear any difference, I recommend trying a second playback device to verify if there really isn't a difference. The reason I mention this is that sometimes our ears become so accustomed to one playback device that we get stuck in our own heads about how things actually sound. Believe it or not, switching from something like a nice pair of headphones to your laptop speakers might actually reveal differences that were there the entire time that you never noticed. I know it sounds crazy, but after doing these clips for 10 years, I've had plenty of experience with this, so for now, just consider my humble advice and try it out. Alright, so we have the concept of the sound clips ironed out, and we have a clear path on how we want to do this video, but we still need a great platform for tubes. Lucky for us, this Gallion TS120 will do the trick, and since I have all of its stock tubes installed, I figured this would be the perfect platform to try some side-by-side comparisons. The Gallion TS120 uses two 12AX7s, two 12AT7s, and a quartet of KT88s. The stock amp comes with TAD, also known as tube amp Doctor preamp tubes, and also comes with PSVANE KT88s. However, it's important to note that while the stock KT88s are made from the same brand that we're going to be comparing today, they aren't from the same series, which in my mind makes this experiment even more interesting. As for speakers, we do need something neutral, known to be linear and tells the truth. For this cowboy, this was an easy choice, and with the encores on deck, we are ready to get this party started. So yeah, grab those headphones and let's get this show on the road. For this first round of demos, I'll be using the Gallion in Class A in Profile B, which reduces negative feedback to the circuit. I won't tell you which clip is which tube until the end of the show in order to keep bias down to a minimum. And with that, here we go.
Engineer, where are you headed? Engineer, where are you headed?
No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más. No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más.
And just like that, we've had our first little experience with the clips. Now, since the Gallion TS120 is so versatile, we can actually switch gears and run a second set of sound clips just to cover as much ground as possible. First, I'm going to switch the Gallion to class AB, and second, I'll change the sound profile to A, which increases negative feedback. Last, I'm going to keep the order of playback the same as before, meaning clip A will be the same set of tubes you heard in the first round, and clip B will also be the same as well. So, headphones on, let's go.
Engineer, where are you headed? Engineer, where are you headed?
No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más. No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más.
Pretty interesting, isn't it? Now, hopefully you're taking some notes, and if not, maybe just jot down some impressions right now before you forget and before we move on. Now, for this next round of demos, let's try something very different and switch to my Tsakaridis device's Achilles 300B tube amps. Now, These amps are single-ended and they only push out a few watts, so I'm going to need to try a more sensitive speaker. With the Gallions on deck, and I'm going to be honest, still isn't a great pairing, but it will serve the purpose. Let's cycle through the stock Electro-Harmonix 300Bs that came with this amplifier, and we'll compare it with the PSVANE Horizons. Of course, you guys don't know which one is which. And with your headphones on, let's go.
Engineer, where are you headed? Engineer, where are you headed?
No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más. No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más.
I remember a long time ago, a good friend of mine once said, tube rolling might not change the color of the paint that we hear on the sonic canvas, but it can change the shade of the paint we are about to hear. I completely agree. While there are some situations where the differences will be more profound, like going from a 6550 to a KT88, the changes that we heard in these clips were pretty dang subtle. I'll also mention that, regardless of this video being sponsored or my ability to keep these tubes, I found the Horizons to be superior to my ears with the Gallion amp, but it was more of a toss-up with the 300B amp. With the Gallion amp, whether in Class A or Class AB, I felt the mid-range had more texture and it was more fleshed out, whereas with the stock tubes, it sounded a bit softer in that area. I also noticed on some tracks that the top end was smoother and more refined with the Horizons, while the stock tubes sounded a little bit more spitty or sibilant. As for the 300Bs, it was hard for me to pick a clear winner as both examples sounded quite similar to me. On one hand, I liked the detail that I was hearing from the stock 300Bs, but on the other hand, I appreciated the smoother presentation of the Horizons. So for me, this comparison was less about picking a winner and more about just enjoying slightly different flavors of hi-fi ice cream. I am incredibly anxious to hear what you guys think, so don't forget to leave your comments down below. Do you agree with what I heard, or did you notice something totally different? Either way, the comment section is waiting for you. But before we get to that, it is time for the big reveal. All right, and now for the moment of truth. In all of the sound clips, example A was the new PSVANE Horizon tubes, and example B was the stock tubes for both of the amplifiers that we listened to today. I want to thank PSVANE for sending out the tubes and of course sponsoring today's show. And I hope that you guys had some fun listening to these tubes with me. I will leave links to all of the tubes used in this video, as well as a link to the New Horizon series, so you can check them out if you are interested. Last, I also tried these 12AX7s in my guitar amps, and for those of you folks who play, they are definitely worth trying out. The mid-range is open, percussive, and in my JTM45, they sounded absolutely killer. To all of my high-fidelity brothers and sisters, definitely check out the New Horizon series from PSVANE, and with that, I will see you tube-loving audiophiles in the next video.